Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers, we are out here in nature, baby. How is Ralph Smart? Today, I'm very grateful for you, and please take all of that positive energy I'm sending you. This is like a new dance move right now. It's time to talk about higher consciousness. It's time to talk about earth changing, because so many people are waking up to their true power. Is that you? Symptoms of higher consciousness. 9 unmistakable symptoms of spiritual awakening. Deep divers, let's just breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Let's talk about some of the symptoms of higher consciousness. Do you feel that your life has changed because you've got a whole new perception of what the world is, of who you are, and you can't go back even if you wanted to? Well, that's the feeling I wake up with every single day. We are about to dive deep, wonderful deep divers, into the 9 unmistakable symptoms of spiritual awakening. Holy shift. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Now, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere, it's so obvious that something massive is happening on the planet. So much new technology, more information than ever. A lot of people are starting to wake up to their true power. And we are in the midst of a massive spiritual revolution that the whole world is undergoing right now. It's what I call the metamorphosis. But with that metamorphosis, with that shedding of your skin, moving to a butterfly from a caterpillar, there are a lot of symptoms of a spiritual awakening. So what is the first unmistakable symptom of spiritual awakening? Our senses are magnified. We can see better. We can hear better. We can feel deeper. Everything is a lot more vivid. And that's what I started to see along my journey. I'm like, is this normal for me to see everything so clearer now? Is it normal for me to hear like a dolphin? Ultrasound? Is it normal for me to actually feel a lot more deeper into everything? Because that's a symptom of spiritual awakening. Everything is more lucid. Everything is more vivid. Everything is that much more real. What I liken it to is being in a cave for a really long time, deep divers, and then coming out of it. And you're like seeing everything for the first time. You're like, whoa, right? That's a symptom of spiritual awakening. Instead of what are those, it's more like, what am I doing on this planet? What is the second symptom of spiritual awakening that I've seen along my journey? The desire to eat lighter, right? The desire to eat lighter foods. We want to go to bed feeling lighter. Because once again, living in this 3D reality, everything is very physical, it's very dense, it's a material world, right? And that's cool. However, a symptom I realized with spiritual awakening is that you've got a desire to move out of the physical. You've got this desire to move out of matter and to become more of the truth of who we are, which is the light bodies, the energy who we are, right? The energy of who we are, not just this physical shell. This is a vehicle. That's all it is. It's a vehicle. But we are more than this we are more than this vehicle. Okay, so I started to realize I've been a vegan for over 13 years, and the symptom of spiritual awakening was that I didn't want to eat foods. Any food that was causing harm to someone else, I didn't want to eat it. So animals were out of the question, because I started to actually say, they just might want to live like I do. But also I was letting go of a lot of dairy, a lot of foods that were usually keeping me on the toilet seat. They had to go. And now I'm eating lighter foods, more leafy greens, more fresh fruit, more fresh fruits, and I feel fantastic, right? And that's a symptom of spiritual awakening. Some days, like, I don't even feel like I need to eat. I'm just becoming like a breatharian, like, woo, getting high off that good ass prana, baby, right? So if you are eating lighter, that's a symptom of spiritual awakening. And that's a great symptom to have, right? What is the third symptom of spiritual awakening I've seen along my journey? You want the truth. Tell him, Ralph. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Like, I started to realize with my symptoms of spiritual awakening, one of them was this hunger for the truth. I was like going to David Icke talks, right? I saw David Icke in Wembley, a truth seeker as well. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. How come I didn't learn this at school, right? And a lot of people who are going through spiritual awakening, we start to think differently from the mainstream. And therefore, as we go through life, we start to realize that most of what we have been taught in school was a lie. Most of what we know has to be questioned because it's probably just a lie. And I started to realize that I know nothing. And that's why as soon as I wake up, I'm always about, I need to know the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. And if that's you, that's a symptom of spiritual awakening. Now, how I use this to empower me is to say, actually, what better thing is there in the world than the truth? I would rather a painful truth than a happy lie. Because the truth will set you free, baby. Slow motion this side. Symptoms of higher consciousness. What is the fourth unmistakable symptom of spiritual awakening I've seen along my journey? A lack of group identity, okay? Now I keep it real with you deep divers. I always say that as human beings, we really are part of this collective. However, we have our unique spirit that has to be honored. And the reason why so many people are programmed in this matrix is because people aren't thinking for themselves. It's what I call the hive mind. And it happens in religion, in government, in who am I going to vote for, in even go back to school, right? You had the popular crowd and the not so popular crowd, right? So we love to be part of a group. But the problem with that is that when you are just part of a group, you lose your originality. You also lose, if you're not careful, your authenticity. So the symptom I saw of spiritual awakening was that I had this desire to lose the group identity. Like someone just asked me, deep divers, Ralph, where are you from? Okay, I was born in London, but I just tell them these days, I'm a planetarian, okay? I'm a planetarian. Tell them that, right? When they ask you, where were you born? Where are you from? It's only one Earth, right? Okay? I'm a planetarian, okay? What is the fifth unmistakable symptom of spiritual awakening? What I've seen along my journey is that I had this desire, deep divers, to transcend separation, a transcendence of separation. Because I started to sense that we are all connected. Everybody, ouch, bleeds red. Everybody is breathing in that good ass prana, baby, whether they like it or not. Whether they like it or not, right? Everybody has emotions They feel pain, they cry, they're happy. Okay, we are very similar. And if we can start to look at our similarities as opposed to what keeps us apart, you'll have a better world and a better planet. And that's a symptom of spiritual awakening. It's no longer me and them. It's like we're all in this together. Because if someone is ignorant down the road, their ignorance will eventually affect you somehow, some way. Because they could just like play really loud music. They could be in a bad mood and then swear at you. Like really horrible stuff, right? Because we're all connected. However, like just by you smiling, if you smile to a stranger, that could help them smile to another person, and then they'll smile to another person. They'll smile to another person, and that person will smile to another person, and that person will smile to another person, and that person. You catch my drift, right? You get what I'm talking about. So energy is contagious, and I started to realize actually we are all connected, and we have to start seeing that there is no separation. Even with positive and negative, like I see a lot of people who just want to be perfect all the time. And don't expect me to be perfect. I'm a very bad boy. I'm a very bad man. I'm also a very good boy and a good man. I'm very positive, but I'm also negative too. I've learned that both are necessary, because if you look at a battery, it's got positive and it's got negative, but it's the one force. Slow motion this side. Ultimately, it's about balance, right? And that's what I'm striving to do more and more in my life, to create balance. Instead of just saying I have to be a positive person all the time, start saying I have to be a more authentic person. And authenticity includes positive and negative. Slow motion this side. What is the sixth unmistakable symptom of spiritual awakening? Now, what I've seen along my journey is autonomy. This desire to live a more authentic life. And I've seen it along my journey. Like I wake up with a feeling like I just want to be me. I don't want to be anybody else. And that's a symptom of spiritual awakening. That's why a lot of people right now on the planet who are going through their own spiritual awakening, a lot of them, they love to be alone. Like myself sometimes, I love to feel at peace. I can be at peace just by being me, right? And it's that whole feeling of not compromising who you are, not doing stuff to impress people, not doing stuff because it's popular, but just being yourself unapologetically. That's a symptom of spiritual awakening. What you see is what you get. What is the seventh symptom of spiritual awakening that I've seen along my journey? Symptoms of higher consciousness. The desire to connect with other authentic beings, form authentic relationships. Everything has more depth, more substance, more meaning. Everything is more intimate. While I was in a big, deep sleep before I awakened, everything was very shallow. No real connection with anybody. But when I was going through my spiritual awakening, and I'm still going through it because it's a lifelong process, I started to desire more meaningful interactions. Like I wouldn't just connect with someone for the sake of connecting with them. There had to be something more there, right? And that's usually what happens with spiritual awakening. The symptom is you just want to be around people who are like you. Oh, what is the eighth symptom of spiritual awakening that I've seen along my journey, deep divers? It is the desire just to be. Like I don't have to be a human doing. I can be a human being. Slow motion this side. I had a good friend once who said, can you imagine if they didn't only give awards out for acting, but they gave awards out for being? Here's an Oscar for being, not acting. Right? So I've realized I'm happy just to be. And that's a symptom of spiritual awakening. You have this inner quietness. You're content with who you are. And it's beautiful to see, like the smiles on people's faces because they know thyself, right? And what is the ninth symptom of spiritual awakening I've seen along my journey? empathy and compassion. Now, going through my own spiritual awakening, I started to realize that actually I do have a lot of responsibility, not only for my life, but for the state of the planet and for what's happening to my next door neighbor. We got to love ourselves first and foremost. But the symptom of spiritual awakening, I've seen, when you are awakening, you want to extend your hand out, even if your own hand is burning. You want to help people because you start to realize that, oh, I get it. That's the missing piece of the jigsaw. We need to be more empathetic. We need to display more empathy. We need to display more compassion. People need to hug each other more. It's not that we have to be all lovey-dovey and sing Kumbaya under a flipping tree. It's just that we have to show our humanity. The natural instinct for a human being is to help another human being. Children do it. So that's a symptom I saw along my journey, that actually I've got more compassion. I'm displaying more empathy. I'm putting myself in their shoes. And deep divers, if you are going through a spiritual awakening and having all of those symptoms I've just talked about, it's just time to say, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Beautiful deep divers. We are out here in the heart of nature, baby, just breathing in that good ass prana, baby. People are like, Ralph, I love these shirts. Shout out to everybody who's been getting the good ass prana shirts. Check them out. ralphsmart.com/clothes. Check out the new book on Amazon, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart. Giving a few away only on Instagram at Infinite Waters. Deep divers, holy shift, have a beautiful day. Infinite Waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy, peace. I just woke up one day and life wasn't the same. Happened to me too.